Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the real talk of Startup Business Holders Vol.5, hosted by Kakugo Global Startup Center, GSC in short. I'm Mila from Kakugo Global Startup Center and today's MC. And for the online participants, we're here at Mol.t, a newly open chat office. Before we start the event, I'd like to remind you all a couple of things. For the online participants, please keep your microphone on mute and turn off the video during the event. This event will be recorded and later be uploaded on GSD YouTube channel as well. For the on-site participants, you can use the place here on the first floor, or you can also use the second floor if you like. Also, there's a coffee, a company. So there's coffee from Kakugo, which is a Norwegian coffee shop. It's next to it. It's available for you. And so feel free to take one. So let me start with sharing today's rundown brief. So today we will have an introduction of Mol.t, this place, and then also a brief photo tour of this place. And then GSC will explain general information about our visa and also our services that we offer at GSC. And then after that, we will invite 3 startup business holders to the board and have talk session as well as a Q&A session. And online participants are more than welcome to ask questions in the chat box as well, and we can ask them to the speaker during the Q&A session. So without further ado, let's invite Malsa from Mol.t to give an introduction of this.
Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Mao from Mol.t, and I'm manager and director of Mol.t, and we operate this place. So, so Mol.t is a hybrid small office which we opened last year, August 2022. So our concept is work-life fullness, that we provide value which leads to the sustainable growth of people and business through the fullness of work and life in Fukuoka. So let me introduce the 4 features in Mol.t. So we have 18 rooms in total, which are completely private, and each room has individual air conditioning and SSID, so you can concentrate on your work comfortably. And furniture trading company is in Mol.t right now, so they regularly change the layout of the furniture. So we can always work in sophisticated atmosphere like this. Okay, so number 2, you can select your workplace depends on your purpose and content of your work inside of this building. For example, there is a Norwegian cafe next to Mol.t called Kakugo, and there is a rooftop plaza where you can work and relax. Okay, number 3, Mol.t has partnership with other facilities where there are lots of nature and like in front of sea or close to forest. So it is Fukuoka's characteristic that you can go to nature spots easily, like 30 minutes to 1 hour. Okay, so number 4, we provide lots of unique activities which inspire your life. For example, like tent sauna, hunting experience, and team building session, like team exchange meeting. So we believe these activities enhance users' work and life. Okay, so let me introduce the Mol.t board. Okay, now we will have a virtual tour of this place, and then online participants can see like how the Mol.t, what they are interested in business wise. But then for the on-site, you can watch it like on the screen, and then after the whole session is finished, you can just like go actually see what we must.
皆さん、please stop the sharing.
こんにちは。聞こえてます？聞こえてます？はい。So let me introduce the Mol.t. There are 4 meeting rooms at corner. And the center, there's a common place where people can also work here. And we have 6-meter high place. So taking advantage of this highness, so we made 2-layer structure. Underfloor, there is a storage, and upper, there is a space of small offices. So let's move on.
皆さん、please share the screen, maybe. I think you need to share. 画面をシェアして、そっちの映像が映ってないです。いいのか。大丈夫です。OK です。
So these are the small spaces, small offices, mainly room for 2 or 3 people. And there is various tenants companies like furniture trading company, apparel trading company, and PC business, and startup business also. And there's so several companies join in our Mol.t. So let me introduce the room inside. This is a room for 3 people. As I said, there is a individual conditional air conditional system, and also there's a SSID. And this is also, we have also a 3-meter high, so you can work freely in open place. And this is phone booth. So from Finland brand called Pharmacy. So if you want to talk about secret things, you can go inside. And there's also an entrance over there. And here you can see the 2-layer of the structure. It's like this. Okay, so I finished my motor. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.
So we have 3 parts, Mol.t for the city, and then also about the seller visa, and then also we'll talk a little bit about the business model that we provide as well as services. So GSC in Kyoto City, we are a team of 4. All of our members are actually here today. We have our director, Munu, over there in the top, and then Nicole, and Kai up there in the section, and then we're working in a team of 4. And all of our services are free of charge. This is very important to note, because we are a part of the Tokyo government administrative service. So that's why everything that you receive at GSU is free of charge. And basically, what we do is we support throughout your journey to start your life in Tokyo City. So even before you actually depart your home country or wherever you're living, we will support you during the startup visa and also the business budget. But then even after when you land in Fukuoka City, we will support you with all this like office, housing renting, incorporation, bank, opening the bank accounts and everything. Fukuoka, because you're already here in Fukuoka, you know like how great Fukuoka City is. But then for the online participants, maybe like I can explain a little bit about the attractiveness of the Fukuoka City. So why Fukuoka City? Geographically, Fukuoka is located in the southwest of part of Japan, and which is compared to Tokyo or Osaka, other major cities in Japan. Fukuoka experiences less earthquakes as a catastrophe, and so that's why it's called a safe place to live in. And also geographically, Fukuoka is very close to other Asian cities like Hong Kong, Shanghai, Seoul, and also Southeast Asia as well. So Fukuoka is said to be like a global Asian gateway to the Asian markets. And also the quality of life, Fukuoka City is very compact, but then very sufficient. So we can have everything we need, but then still living in a quite compact city. So a lot of people say who have lived in Fukuoka City said like the quality of life here is very high. Also, Fukuoka City government is very proactive in conducting POC to the concept for the business. So if you have anything you want to start, if you want to test any of your product, then you can come to Fukuoka City and we will connect you to the POC department as well. And as you can see, Fukuoka City has a growing startup ecosystem as well, and we are part of it. And we've been working to develop this startup ecosystem for the last decades. So we have a quite good reputation around the world as well, and that is seen in the global network here. Fukuoka City government has signed MOU with the 15 different corporate institutions in 11 different cities in the world. And this shows how global network the Fukuoka City Energy still has. So our main topic for today is startup visa. We'll explain to you about startup visa. So if any of you are looking to start a business in Japan, but then not holding a visa, visa to live in Japan, then normally you will get so-called business manager visa if you want to start a business. But then the business manager visa requirements are quite high. So, for example, in order to apply for the business manager visa, you already have to register your company, even though you are not in Japan, even though you are still residing in the city. Or you have to rent a private office, which can be more costly and also can be very difficult to look for this private office. So what startup visa provides is like a kind of preparation period for you to start your business in order to get the business manager visa after that. So with the startup visa, you don't need to require one for this number or 5 6. I will give you the requirement of course other things later on. But then with this one, you'll be able to get the visa and come to London City and then prepare for your starting the business. So overview of this visa, the visa is valid for 6 months. So once you acquire the startup visa, you are eligible to stay in Fukuoka City for the 6 months. During the 6 months, you have to prepare to start your business. The Fukuoka City also sets a business criteria for targeted business that are very available, which are innovative, creative, and contributive. Which is a quite abstract, but then if you think about the government website later on, you will find more details about the area as well. But then I will give you an example of the startup visa holders later on, and then you can kind of imagine what kind of business is actually going to get acquire startup business. The requested funds is to prove that you have sufficient money in the bank account that you can give and basically at least the visa lasts for. So which is 5 million Japanese yen is the minimum requirement per person. So with a startup visa, you can apply with up to 2 founders, just one person or 2 people, but this requirements apply for everyone. So if you are applying with the 2 founders, then you need to have a time and instructions to prove that you have sufficient money to give it to the system. And then also with this 2006 months, you can bring those thoughts for our children. Similar to the So here are some examples. Today we have a very good example of how we have home customers today. We will listen to the story later on. And then we also supported a lot of different foreigners who want to start a business in the city. One of them is Smart Name from China. They have voice verification is basically voice verification system that works on it. And then they sometimes use some of the business into the city because of the advanced technology that we discuss. And the product is a smart chip with the AI voice recognition, which can be added to other with Vol.5 only for that's one of the examples. And then also we have a Steam from Digital on Canada. They develop an AR technology, and it was considered innovative, so that it was the requirements startup is all to business for the city. After they launched the business, this also support them to connect with the city museum. During the COVID, everyone was able to go to the museum, so they used AR technology to verbally present science. And also this is example from Thailand. Smart blockchain labs. They create a platform for digital arts and NFTs. So they use the blockchain technology, and yeah, they also got started and started this here in Korea as well. They also have created a platform, but they also have a marketplace to sell and buy the NFT digital art as well. So those are the examples that we do here. A very good example of and I will talk about briefly about business funding as well, because we receive inquiries from outside of Japan, like a lot of them every day, and not everyone wants to just immediately start a business So if they are looking into the way into Japan, then we can be like a first contact for them to connect with anyone in Japan. So our business matching have a wide definition. We sometimes introduce them to the expert or legal expert, experts, specialists, or like I said before, we also pick up with the POC, connect them with the POC department, or also we talk to them and then we understand the business and we understand the needs, and then we explain the business in Japanese to the potential partners so that the Japanese companies, for example, sometimes they have a difficulty in communicating with English, also we support the communication and then help them connect with the Japanese business partner as well. So we have a few examples for this as well. One of the examples is Destiny from Finland. We connected this company to the JR Fusion, which is one of the biggest companies in Fusion, a railroad company. JR Fusion was opening a new share office, co-working space in HAKATA station. The Destiny was developing this like a registration device. So that we connected them, and it was a very good promotion for both of them. The JR Fusion was connected to using the startup technology in a newly opened co-working space, and the Destiny was able to get a connection with one of the biggest companies in Fusion. This is a fiber call from Germany. It's kind of like a raw material from Germany. And we connected them to one of the automobile components manufacturers in Japan. actually bought some samples from a variable and then they did keeping discussion conversation to proceed with business as well. Also, this you might have heard of NZAC in Singapore. This is a lot of fintech companies that we've been they first actually introduced the lawyer to finance expertise to get a license for them because they need to have like a special knowledge in order to start business in Japan, which is different from Singapore. And we first introduced them to the lawyer, and then we second connected to the Israeli fintech startups. So this wasn't this is a good example that we don't actually connect them like with only Japanese companies. Like we have a global, very wide range of global networks. So using all of the networks, if we see something that might match the needs, we just connect it. So this is also a good example. And then it also launched the business with TERRACE. So that was a very good example that we supported. Also, there's France, company called Facility. They are a web design company, the web design for the people with the eye impairment. So they kind of like produce develop like include UI design for the people with the eye having that impairment. And also their business their design for business includes official website, and then now they're developing like expanding like the right. So these are examples. We have many more, and many more to come in the future as well. But the message that we want to share is that if you are looking to bring it into Japan market, yoga is the place. You can talk out with each yoga, you can support you start using it start. So that's it for the basic lesson. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite three startup visa holders to the floor. Matt, Angie, will give you some. Yes. Okay, rather than I introduce them, and maybe it's better they introduce themselves. They prepared a short presentation of what we do, what kind of business we started in Silver City. So I will come to microphone to Matt, and then we can start the presentation.
Hi everybody, I'm Matt Bush. I'm from Chicago in America and US, and my background is in private equity investment. Today in Chicago, and then I also spent time in San Francisco Bay Area working at Stanford University of California. And my company I'm founding here in essentially we're making video games that integrate with blockchain technology.
Cool. Sure. Thank you.
So my company is making video games that integrate with blockchain technology in innovative ways. Fundamentally, so there's two pillars of the business, I guess. B2C would be actually making games, selling digital items to users, gamers. And then there's also a B2B component where I'm collaborating with local businesses, shops, and here in Fukuoka and then throughout Japan and abroad eventually to integrate those like game worlds and the digital items into the user experience at the cafes too. So there can be bonuses for visiting different places within the city. Big part of why I'm doing this is I want to, by integrating local businesses into the game world and cities throughout Japan, I want to give back to society and encourage other gamers to kind of reintegrate the society and get back to their communities really fast. That's yeah. Let's see. So the next page. Yeah. So this is my background. As I said, is investment management in business. I also, since I've been a kid, I've always been into video games and had that creative outlet on the side. Very different from the financial world, but it's always been an esteem in the back of my head, so that's why I'm starting out here now. Anyways, so that's my specialty, but I'm also looking for expertise in programming and specifically pixel art design, like Super Famicom, Super Nintendo era of video game. That's what I grew up with, and those are the kind of games I want to make. So if you happen to be a programmer or a digital artist, I want to talk to you. If you know anyone interested in these types of old school JRPG type games,
I'm Angie. I'm coming from Hong Kong. I have a partner. So two of us started Hong Kong just this year, and we have our company started like around 7 years ago from Hong Kong, and we also have branch in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Japan is the market that we try to enter this year. So we joined the start program. Our company is doing there's two parts, very simple, many devices distributing. So that part is more like hardware. The second part is software developing. So we have a program now to tailor-make the software, the system software that cater the hospital needs. So we have a background. In Hong Kong, we're working closely with the public hospital. So we understand the user needs, the users like nurses, doctors, and other practitioners. So we are focusing in like developing the system that they need. For here in Japan, we are very interested in this market because the things that we are doing is we are going everything. We want to go make everything like paperless. It's really simple. The concept is really simple, but not many people is doing it. The system that we are developing is actually no one is doing it at the moment. Imagine you're in Japan, you have a lot of point HAKATA, right? Yeah, so you have your Rakuten point HAKATA, you have your Eon point HAKATA. So what we're doing, we're integrating everything. So basically you just have one card, one system. Anywhere you go, you'll get a point, something like that. But this concept is applying to the hospital. So what we are trying to do is the doctor, the nurses, or whoever who are sort of like take care of the patient, they can get the patient data, they can see the patient situation anytime, anywhere, with their devices, with their laptop, with their phone. Even the doctor is not on the same floor as where the patient is, he can still see it. So there will be alarm in case of emergency. So something like that. I mean, there are companies doing something similar, but what we are doing is no one is actually apply. It's only like one-on-one, but we are doing multiple devices. So that is the key thing that we do.
Everyone. I'm from Shenzhen. So Shenzhen is actually the hardware capital, I think, in China. Yeah. So what I do is kind of simplify the IoT hardware, or what we call the smart hardware. So it's what in my hand now. And the company I start is called MakeKit. So previously, to make a hardware, it's very difficult. You need to be a hardware engineer. Also, need to be a hardware engineer to design the structures. And also, you need to know the electronic specification to combine all the electronic boards. And also, you need to know the programming. So I try to build a platform to simplify all this. Cubes are what we created. Every cube has a unique sensor. Actually, cube has one function, and it can be recombined. I mean, to other system or product. Yeah, this is actually the platform. On the left-hand side, the platform, we can use the website or what we call the cloud service to, combine the cubes. It's like a Minecraft. I hope, So the MakeKit.com is to simulate the function, of the cube, and then you can actually buy the real cube back home, like a toy, like an educational, for educational use. Or on the right-hand side, we just try to, can supply all the services, to make the cube into a real prototype. So on the top, on the bottom right, is actually an underwater robot we make using this process, and it can clean the, the tube. It has a robot arm, but it's not shown here yet. So it has a cable to control, to supply the power of the robot. And so, yeah, what we do is actually try to combine all the power of the 3D printing and all the, drag and drop programming. Actually, we hope to build something with no code, no programming at all. And then we try to supply the Chinese, or how we say, the Asians supply chain power to the user, whether it's B2C or B2B clients. Yeah, it covers a lot. Actually, our company in China has been involved in a lot of smart hardware or IoT-based smart hardware industries. So we try to simplify all the building process, just choose one of the scenario of the industry, and then the cloud will try to, using some AI technology and our knowledge base to actually to generate the cube combination for you. And then, yeah, I think Fukuoka is a nice place to start, even hardware business, I think. So if you have got an idea in your local area, or yeah, you can try to contact us using the information, and then I think we can simplify the hardware building for you. And then, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Now we'd like to move on to the talk session. So actually, upon the registration, we received quite a few questions from the participants as well. So as much as we want to hear more about your business, but we're here to talk about your startup visa acquisition experiences. So let me ask you a few questions, and probably later we can ask some questions from the floor as well. Okay, so my first question would be, why Fukuoka? Very simple. Why did you choose Fukuoka? And then also, if there's a challenge in Fukuoka City, maybe you can share the challenge as well. But mostly, why did you choose Fukuoka City? And I appreciate if you could keep it in mind within 2 minutes each. Sure. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Okay, why Fukuoka? So my background's in investment, so applying that lens to Japan cities, I kind of see Tokyo and Osaka as like mega cap stocks, or very like overly saturated markets, where you can turn a profit investing there, but growth is kind of dissipating, margins are thinning, and so really my question is, where's the next 10x, I guess? And so you broaden your scope and do a little diligence and find Fukuoka is actually one of the only cities in Japan defying the demographic crisis, and the population here is actually growing. So you visit, and when I visited, I think the best word to describe what I felt exploring around Fukuoka and meeting with the team is there's a sense of optimism here in Fukuoka for the future that I haven't seen at any other Japanese city yet. there's Fukuoka Growth next, Riverfront next, Tenjin Big Bang, all these. You look at where the city government is investing taxpayer funds for the future, and it's an innovation across the board. Trying to draw families here. If you want to raise family here, it's great. Balance with nature in the city. It's not overcrowded at all. Everyone is a very tight-knit community, both the foreigner, entrepreneur community, everybody knows each other, but also the city government and has been super welcoming. And they introduced you to venture capital, local venture capital, and it's in Japan, that trust system, it's very, very critical. So rather than just jumping into the massive ocean of Tokyo, coming here to Fukuoka, you feel part of the community very quickly and welcome.
I actually looked at Fukuoka back to 10 years ago. That was my first time came here just for visit as a visitor. And I like it right away. I think very simple is the location itself and the size of the city. I think the scale here is very compact and it's very easy to get around. I think, if you're running a business, you're renting a place, you're looking for school for a kid, or whatever you're doing, it's always like location. So Fukuoka actually can really serve this purpose right away. And 3 hours from Hong Kong to here. From the airport to town is only like 10 minutes, 20 minutes train. And it will never happen in another city in Japan. I think this is very clear for me to choose this place to run a business. Cost is low. I totally agree of what Matt just said. You see the city growing because I actually look at the YouTube of the mayor. I don't know whether you see what he actually his speech, and then he introduced what he has been doing. He's actually quite amazed because Japan is so generally is quite traditional. Look at him to do all these things to make the cities make such a change over these 10 years. It's actually quite unusual. I think this is also one of the attractive points that Fukuoka has become very successful and attractive.
Yeah, agree. Actually, all the points. And then at one point, maybe just the Japanese football. I like the football, so one of the reasons I come here. Called Japan football is how to say the sunshine of the Asia or something. So I enjoy it. Yeah, and all the points.
Great, thank you. I'm surprised no one's mentioned food. No.
Well, you wanted 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's much longer than 3 minutes.
Okay, got it. Well, thank you very much. Also, as for your startup visa acquisition experience, how did you come to know about the startup visa, and then also what kind of your experience, your story of getting a startup visa, and then if there's anything that you think you could have known or you should have known before getting a startup visa, could you share your experiences as well?
Sure. So there's a few questions in there, but I'll start with the beginning of my process. How did I come to know about the startup visa? As any foreigner can attest, getting a visa to actually live in Japan is one of the most difficult things, one of the most difficult steps. And you look at I looked at the other cities, Tokyo, Osaka, all the major players, and Fukuoka was the only one that had a startup visa that would actually support individuals with ideas that didn't already have established teams of 10 or more and branches across the world already. Fukuoka wants to help individuals with great ideas in innovative sectors and with just the seed funding that they have on their own to get going. That's why what drew me to the startup visa specifically. After that, the process started with emailing back and forth with me and the team on the initial business proposal and plan that would eventually go to the Fukuoka city government for their final seal of approval. That of all the steps since I've been here, that initial step of the back and forth email was probably the trickiest. And what I learned, the most valuable thing I learned from that is distilling the essence of my business concepts over and over again, simplifying it, making it very straightforward. And that helped me as an entrepreneur because my ideas are kind of all over the place. And the back and forth, every time I get feedback, it'd be make it a little more simpler, like distilling it into that elevator pitch. So that was the great feedback I received from the team. So that once that was complete and succinct, it went through city government and all was fine. The biggest challenge or confusing bit was the actual going to after I received all my approvals, going to the immigration office and applying for the actual startup. I thought it was a special. It says startup visa on it, but it's like a business manager visa with like a special startup credential kind of behind it. So that was the only confusing bit. I was happy to receive that for the 6-month period, but I was just a little confused with that. Otherwise, the only struggle was, needing a residence within Fukuoka, but then you can't get a residence without like the Zairyu card or the foreigner card. So it was like, which one first? Like I can't. It was kind of like a pot in between those. Eventually worked it out, and the team was great in helping me work that out. Those were the only struggles.
Thank you. How was it for you, Angie? Your process of getting started with it?
I actually did a lot of homework before I actually applied for the visa. I knew about the startup visa actually about like 8-9 years ago. My friend told me about it because my friend lived here. She's from Hong Kong. She told me about it, and then I mean when I before I make the application, I actually spent a year here to study Japanese. So I have some Japanese background, but I thought I just pick it up again. And I used that year just to do all this research and preparation. I think I spent a lot of time on the business plan. It's not because I don't know what to write. It's just like you really want to know what they want, like how, as you said, like how to simplify it. And then what they actually focus on when you try to like welcome a new business startup. So I spent like I don't know like 2-3 months just to write up the business plan. Also the like budgeting that actually you need to do a lot of research, right? Because they will ask you, are you planning to hire people? Are you planning to rent a place? All that you need to do like do a research calculation. You have to ask around like insurance, how much you have to do all this calculation. So I think it's not challenging. It's just time consuming. So it's good that you spend more time to find out all the data before you fill up the form. And then once you've done that, you submit to the center, and then they will help you to sort of like simplify or add it or make it nicer and easier to get the approval. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, my process is similar, and I agree with that about the BP process. It's kind of the process helped me to to focus on business, how I can succeed or something like that. And then the GST has been very helpful online, and then offline. Offline, I've been getting the 1-year renewal of the visa. So after all the process, I think I settled it now. And I think, yeah, just follow the process and then step by step. I think I like the process, my experience.
Yeah, so just to know, Moon has got a startup visa and then converted it to business manager visa just recently. Thank you very much. So is there anything that you think you wanted to know before actually come to Japan? Like you wish you had known. Anyone?
No, it was after the COVID blocked, in China. So when I come out, I think yeah, everything is new, and then I try to learn, learn how to blend in the share accommodation, and then to buy things, purchase things. I just follow I think the previous, and then also the YouTube. I think they give a lot of. I think that there are some other YouTube introducing the startup visa. So, but about the living, I think we really, for me, it's coming here. I get to blend in. So, yeah.
Anyone else?
Something I noticed, but also some of my foreigner entrepreneur friends noticed, was at certain parts during certain windows during that 6-month startup visa, you're required to be in Japan for that, because you have certain meetings and account openings that you can't leave and come back really quick. It's just easier if you stay here. Some of my friends have, they're going all over the world for events, and found that challenging, but it's something to know ahead of time, to ask the team when are those in that 6-month window, when are the times when I actually have to be here, so you can plan around that in case you have conferences elsewhere in Asia or throughout the world.
Well, thank you. And how about after getting a startup visa? So you, it's not a goal to get the visa, right? So you start a business, and then you have to get the business, rolling. And so, what are the good side, and then also the challenges that you face after you start the business in here?
I guess the good side, but also the challenge is, I'd say, is the accountability that comes with it. It's not just you get to start a visa and you're free to run around Japan all you like. No, that there's accountability with meetings with. We have great monthly meetings with the team. I just had mine this morning. Yesterday, I had a separate meeting at the Fukuoka City Hall with their team and a small business consultant. And they keep you on your toes. They keep you focused on goal ahead. That's something I really appreciate. I like that accountability. I like it helps me plan during the 6-month window to stay on track, stay focused. And, yeah.
Thank you. How about you, Angie?
Yeah, similar. I think the meeting actually very helpful. The good things about it is like everything you need to do, basically the staff center will guide you through. So you don't have to worry about, oh, how can I get my account set up? How can I get the insurance set up? How can I get all this done? How can I set up my company? So you don't really have to worry too much, because they will have their contacts that they can introduce. They will let you know how to do it. If you can speak Japanese perfect. If you don't, they have a translator. I think that's really helpful, especially it's not about it's not about the languages. It's about you understand the concept, you have the knowledge about what's going on in the city. So you really need these people help you through, so that it's a lot easier to get things done. And I think that is very important. Challenging would be at the moment, for example, I try to hire people. That part is quite challenging. I still don't know how yet because I want to hire local people. So how can I actually chip into the community to get to know people? So I guess the networking would be good to get to know people, just to get the community fruitful first. People figure. I mean, okay, I can make the advertisement to hire people. That is a separate story, but that can cost quite a lot of money and time. So try to strike balance now. Thank you.
For me, is the challenging thing is, I think we are building some platform involving hardware. So I think remotely I can do software here, and then but the hardware I need to still commute myself into China and then come back. So But I think that's one of the strong points of the HAKATA side. Travel like domestic. I feel like domestic, and then so it's very easy to fly and then come back. That's the visa for me all about. Then easily, I feel like Asia is all integrated together. So, and then yeah, that's all.
Thank you very much. Maybe I would like to ask the floor or like anyone in the online in the Zoom who wants to ask some questions to speakers. Yeah, sure. Maybe you need a mic. Yeah.
Okay. Hello, my name is Maina. Angie talked about it a little bit, but I wanted to ask about how retaining and finding talent is. How was it, especially because you mentioned Fukuoka is growing, so it's not as big and as saturated with foreign talent as other cities. So how has that been for you? Can you also expand on that? And also, could you share some insights about your funding journey? Has it been any different in other areas, or is there anything unique about Fukuoka in terms of funding? Thank you.
Yeah, let's see if I can answer this question. So I try to I also look at people who can for example like bilingual speaking people, but I understand in this city at the moment, perhaps if you have to compare to Tokyo, definitely not so easy. So I guess that will take some time. I will have to try another channel to look for these people. The reason I need to look for local talents because I think medical industry itself is a very close community. So I do have to know the local context. I think native Japanese speaker is still very crucial to help me to enter to the industry. I think that's really the main point. But again, to find talent, whoever, whether they are multilingual or they're foreigner, is still very attractive. And in here, it is available. Sorry, what is the second? Funding, yes. I think at the moment, we're sort of like prepare, and then the budgeting we need to do. You already know how much you really need to start your business. So to start, because you don't really need a lot in terms of like, I mean, you can rent a co-share desk at the center. So the startup is not, it doesn't cost that much. It's like when you plan for the next 2 years, that you just need to like plan about it. The city itself, the city of the center, the city. So the city hall also have the funding program. They have the subsidies that you can apply, but that will be for 5 years. So after 5 years, if you hire more than 3 people, and then you can get some fund back from the cities. Yeah, but I think to start with, if you're sort of one-man band business to start with, it doesn't cost a lot to start for the first year, I would say. And obviously, you won't make money right away, right? It will take like 2 or 3 years, I would say. Yeah.
So hiring and funding, right? So hiring, what I love about Fukuoka is they've built these hub centers of, FGN in Daimyo. There's an engineering cafe, an artist cafe, and these kind of innovation hubs attract all of the local talent at certain events. That's where, so I've been able to, over the past few months, the startup visa network with amazing individuals and just talk about future, even if we don't have a hiring opportunity right now, like there's planting seeds for future collaboration all the time. Like every day, you never know when you're going to meet someone new at one of these hubs. For the second part, which is funding, also at these events, for example, what I prefer about Fukuoka over the major cities like Tokyo and Osaka is with the startup visa, as Miwa was saying with the presentation earlier, you gain access to the city, the Global Startup Center and City Hall's network of local banks, Fukuoka Bank and others, Fukuoka Financial Group, all the local venture capital. And because you already, with the startup visa, you already have that trust network built with the startup center and the city hall. That's a great mark on for your personal credibility of your business. So I'm still at the early stages, but I'm hoping that's a great way to approach venture capitalists locally. I feel like you'll get much more traction from the local VCs than you will from the major shops in Tokyo. You don't really, the local ones focus on a niche investments locally. So I hope that helps.
Okay. So about hiring, actually, I hope to learn Japanese, and then after that, I can have some partners, colleagues in locally, and maybe globally. So, and then about the funding, I think in Shenzhen, the experience was a lot of small SME comes out, just an idea to pitch, and then maybe some idea with some resources. That's why I also write in my PPT that if you have a resource, actually you can find somebody to cooperate with you with very low budget. So that's also our product will also bring you very low barrier. That's why I also try to solve the problem of to enter market or some new market. But you have an idea. Actually, that's the spirit. I think the city I come from. I guess it's maybe similar to Bay Area, right? So San Francisco, that's Shenzhen try to catch up. Yeah, that's two questions.
Okay, thank you very much. I also have a question on the chat box, so I'll briefly just answer to it. So if a person already in Fukuoka, is the process same? So let me answer to the question. So basically the startup visa is targeting non-visa holders. And it really depends on the situation, like individual situations. So if you are already a visa holder, already residing in Fukuoka City, we advise to come talk to GSC, and then we can give the advice and the support to like depending on the individual situation. Okay. I think we can ask maybe one more questions. If anyone on the floor who wants to ask questions to speakers. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for the speech. I have only one simple question. Did you guys feel any kind of concerns about the period of startup visa? It's only like 6 months, right? I feel like it's too short for being ready for your own business. So what do you guys feel about that first?
Yeah, the startup visa in my concept is to get a renewal of the business manager visa, if I'm right. So and then renew. I think so that I can settle here, focusing on the business. That's what I'm doing now. I think because for foreigners to set up company and accounts, and then it does take so long time because. Yeah, advice is just to set up a mobile phone card, SIM card. Also, they need to check you. So I think it takes a week, and then a week to finish one task and then another. So that's my experience. I don't know if I'm mistaken. So the startup visa is actually for the renewal of the 1 year long, and then another year, and then maybe 3 years, as I heard, for the manager visa. I think it's very friendly actually. In the whole process, I think it makes sense.
I'm a bit indifferent, so I thought I'd just follow the process and get things done. So I think the 6 months, yeah, you can say it's short, but well, enough for us to do the thing that they wanted to do. I think business is when they just want you to, for example, set up your company and move the money in. And have an office space or have a desk set up, and That's it really. And the rest of the thing, you can do it after 6 months after your next readers here. So not so bad. I wouldn't say it's too short. What do you think?
Sure. So there's definitely balance. You have to balance working on your startup, because that's what you're excited about, with the bureaucratic process of opening accounts and everything. But in my experience, opening accounts and setting up all these new things, cell phones and all that, you do that on maybe one afternoon, you take care of all the paperwork, and then you're waiting 2 weeks, a month. But during that time, you don't have any obligations to that. Like, the process is taking care of itself. So you can just go about your business. If you have a business trip somewhere else in Japan, you can head there and come back when that step's resolved. So a lot of it's, you take care of it really quickly, the paperwork, and then you just wait. And in that time, you can focus on your stuff. So I haven't had too many issues so far.
Okay, thank you very much. So lastly, I would like to ask all of the speakers to give like a simple, very short advice to anyone who's like thinking of getting a startup visa or thinking of starting a business.
Start the conversation like right away. You're not going to have your business plan all together right today, but I know you've got ideas in your head, and the team will help you distill that into a great business plan that you can present to the city and be confident in going forward. So just get started today.
I'm actually the other way around. I think you should get your business plan well before you start.
Right. So in Fukuoka, I think I can ride a bicycle, electric bicycle around. I think that's very convenient in this city. And for the business idea, I think if you have any hardware, smart hardware, and then ideas, you can call, email me, and then we can talk together.
So that's great. Thank you very much to all the speakers. Let's give a hand. All right. Thank you very much. So the time is now 6:03, and this is the end of the open session. But for the on-site participants, we have like 30 minutes of networking time. So please do ask a lot more questions and then start a conversation with like everyone participating here. Thank you very much for all your active participation. And so, okay, we actually have like a feedback form. If you could, also we'll be sending you a link to this to your emails that you've registered. So if you have time, please fill out this feedback form. And then for everyone like participating virtually online, thank you very much for your participation, and I hope to see you all at the next event. Thank you very much.